Hello, guys, and welcome to the latest MSC Performance Podcast. Really hope you've enjoyed our latest episodes. There's been some fantastic content coming out, I think, so if I do say so myself. Today's podcast is going to be a little bit more kind of laid back, a little bit more fun. So the title of the podcast is Get to Know the Coaches. So we've got Sonia and Ben with us today. Hello,
Excuse
guys.
Excuse me. I'm going. I'm done.
Hi guys. I'm Sonia.
Sonia and Luke. I do apologise. I think deep down, I was thinking of Ben. Who can't be with us.
I'm wearing a hat, today. So it could be Ginger underneath.
So get to know our coaches with Sonia and Luke, of course. So how are we doing, guys? I do apologise, Luke.
Yeah, good, mate. It's good. Like after 6 years of being by your side in the trenches, it's good to know I've earned your respect. So yeah, feeling great.
Fantastic. Forgot your name. That was all. It's one of them, isn't it?
Say no more.
But we know where we stand then.
Absolutely. So as I say, guys, just a bit more of a light-hearted one today. So we're throwing out some pretty intense content and podcasts lately. So I've basically got 15 questions for each of the coaches.
You said 10.
Luke's there like I'm on the clock here, Bab. It's going to cost me a fortune, this podcast. So 15 questions each. It wasn't going to be 10, but I got a bit excited. So I'm going to ask the questions, and each of the guys will answer, and we'll see how we go. They don't know what the questions are, so
it might be like next.
No comment. It could be a very quick podcast. Any questions from you two before we start?
Shall we?
No questions, but I think Sonia's used to like questions from like when we were drunk playing like drinking games, and she's expecting that kind of level of question versus the PG friendly Q&A that this is going to be.
This is PG. We do have listeners of wide age ranges, and very sensible today.
Good.
Won't be those kind of questions. Okay, so we'll go ladies first. So first question, how long have you been in the industry, Sonia?
So it's been 3 years, if I count the internship in MSC, but I've been fully working in the industry for 2 years, so quite short compared to these boys and boys who work with me, but it's always good to have a bit of a fresh meat in it, I think, in the industry.
We're keeping it clean.
Yeah. And
everything that me and Mark knows is irrelevant now because it's 10 years out of date. So it's actually good to get someone else in.
Well, realised the other day it's been 10 years since I've done my masters, so that's a write-off now. May as well chuck that in the bin. And we learn as we go along. But sorry, Sonia, carry on.
So pretty much since I entered the industry, I've been into MSC. So MSC and these boys is all I know so far. No, I think it's amazing place and people to be around, and I'm enjoying it so far. And I think 3 years is a long time already. So yeah.
Well, I think you in a much more advanced position than I was, after 3 or 4 years in the industry. So I think you're doing well, Bab. I think you're very knowledgeable, doing good bits. What about Luke? It's been a long old time, isn't it?
It's been a while working out. So I did a sports science degree at 18, which I'm 31 now. So that was a long time ago. Unfortunately, 13 years ago, I started working in a health club at 22, which was on reception, if you remember, Mark. So pretty much from 23, I'd say I was working in a gym environment versus being like on reception or sales, etc. So since 23 to 31, so 8 years, 5.5 of those being at MSC Performance. So exclusively like strength and conditioning / powerlifting coaching, 5.5 years. But overall, yeah, like a little bit longer.
Do you feel envious of Sonia for not to blow her own trumpets too much, but for coming into the industry and going straight into that S&C environment and being surrounded by good coaches and good members, whereas obviously we did, I don't know, let's say a bit more in the trenches. That's not taking anything away from the staff and members at the health club we used to work at, but obviously it's very different. Or do you think that was a valuable learning experience?
I think so. First of all, with Sonia's is like my first compliment I think I've probably ever given Sonia is I would never have done what she was willing to do to get a job. Like, she worked as an intern for 20 hours a week for free. I wouldn't have ever done that. So like, she was willing.
Luke Money Rogers. I mean,
but realistically, who can afford to do that or like balance it with the studies? I just I wouldn't have had the work ethic at Sonia's age to have committed to doing 20 hours on top of my studies, on top of a job that has to pay. So I wouldn't have been willing to do that. So fair play to Sonia, like, she's absolutely earned it, because I wouldn't have been willing to do that. On the flip side, so I am envious, but like, she's absolutely earned it, and I would have been in no position to have got one. On the flip, I think it's been really good to go into a health club first and just understand like the issues and the problematic issues that are in health clubs and the fitness industry, and the reason why we've started a facility like we have to try and improve on what people should be getting out of them. And I think it's been really valuable to have that experience, because Sonia knows there's issues with leisure clubs and health clubs, but she doesn't understand firsthand. Well, we had that firsthand experience. So I am envious that she's had it, but also I think it's been good and a valuable lesson. And when people talk about like, oh, I know that Bannatynes do programming, I can tell them exactly what the programming is like at Bannatynes, because we've seen what people give out and we've seen what you get as part of your membership. So I know exactly what the programs say. While Sonia just knows they're bad, we know firsthand. So I think it's been good to have done that.
And it's so great that I have you to tell me, so I learned from you.
Exactly. It's you can honestly, hand on heart, say what the advantages of training in a private S&C gym are compared to a health club. So I'd agree with that as well. I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I think like your natural route, like if I was, any sort of young person coming through the industry, I'd very much encourage, if you were interested in performance-based training, get straight into, an S&C gym or, something like that. But having said that, learn a lot, especially from a management and sort of business side as well, of a few things of what not to do. So
I was thinking about it the other day about how tired I feel on a Tuesday after doing like back-to-back Metcon sessions. And it is tiring, but you're not actually doing the sessions. It's just the energy that you give out to try and get the sessions to run well, etc. But comparatively to like working in a health club, where on a Saturday I had to do an hour spin class into an abs blast into a boxercise class, which is fucking 3 hours back to back. And then I try and do squats at 3 p.m. It was
the old
I don't know how we ever did that.
God, wow.
Half an hour of abs.
Yeah.
It
was the 12 spin classes a week that killed my career off early. That's for sure. I got down to about 78 kilo at one point, I think. Let's move on, guys. So question 2, Luke can go first on this one. What made you get into S&C?
It was like slightly accidental, because when I did my degree, it wasn't S&C based, it was just sports studies. So I was very much interested in coaching. I was really interested in sports development, which is trying to get like minority groups to have full access to sport. So like stuff like people that might be handicapped, people that might not be as economically endowed. So just trying to get sport for all, basically. And I was really into that idea and trying to pursue that. I think the S&C thing came as I developed into like trying to develop stuff for powerlifting and then looking a bit more into strength and conditioning. So it wasn't directly through the degree. I think it was environmental factors after that. So being surrounded by people that used to train at a different gym who were interested in powerlifting. Mark was doing his master's in strength and conditioning, so that massively influenced it. So I would say that it was more environmental factors and then my own pursuit of trying to learn more about powerlifting coaching. It was probably what got us into strength and conditioning.
I think that kind of coincided, wasn't it? I was doing my masters, you were getting into powerlifting, and like your experiences of getting into that, my experiences of doing the masters, and then putting that into practice, like training ourselves, training our our clients, was quite it was quite synergized, wasn't it?
Yeah, because I think if you looked at like back to the health club, like it was very much like your general populations, but we both had an interest in either powerlifting coaching, in strength and conditioning, and that was definitely influencing the training. Like we was in a health club, but we were still trying to practice like good strength training, if not strength and conditioning, strength training at least, and people were training correctly. So yeah, you could definitely see that.
Awesome. What about you, Sonia? What made you get sort of into S&C?
So I think for me, it was maybe the opposite of what Luke said. So obviously I did sport and fitness studies as well as undergrad. And at that point, I didn't know really like that what I want to be. I was just interested into training and coaching as it is like sport. And I think that actually that degree brought me into that like science thing, like with all the research, the evidence-based coaching, like actually understanding that like it's kind of, if it's athleticism, like you need a bit of both, like you need a bit of that aerobic base, like the conditioning side and the strength. So I think it was just like a natural way. And I only decided in my last year at uni that I want to actually go and do masters in strength and conditioning. So that's how I got into like the idea of S&C, and that's what I think like the fitness for me is. Like for me it's S&C. Like if someone says fitness, everyone defines fitness differently, but like I see the background of it as strength and conditioning as a both, if that makes sense.
Certainly does. Yeah. Interesting. Leading on from that, actually, Sonia, into question 3, what made you get into weightlifting?
Okay,
Olympic lifting / weightlifting.
CrossFit.
Sadly, it will be the CrossFit, because obviously CrossFit has elements of Olympic weightlifting, and that was the point where I kind of realized that I'm a bit better with the barbell than with my like own body weight exercises, with body weight, yeah. So then I met like someone quite important back home. He was like a national weightlifting coach. And like I just went for like a camp or 2 of Olympic weightlifting with him, and that's when I got into it. So then when I came here, I just kind of carried on with it because I couldn't really find what I used to do in a gym, like the CrossFit type thing. And MSC changed whole idea of, or whole point of view of me seeing like CrossFit. So
fantastic. What are your PBs, Sonia, for the snatch and the clean and jerk?
At the moment, current, latest.
Yeah, latest / best.
So it's a 95 kilo snatch, and 110 clean and jerk.
Nice. Back squat?
Back squat, 140.
110 in it.
Decent percentages.
Overhead squat, 130.
When we're back open, guys, anyone who is interested in getting into Ollie lifting, Sonia does offer some personal coaching and also some programming as well. So there we go. What about you, Luke? What made you get into powerlifting?
So I used to train at a gym, and it was very much your kind of bro training style. And again, like so, it's what you said about the half club. I'm really glad that I did that, because it just made you like learn a little bit more about that whole thing, and it learns you to train hard. There's a lot of positives that bros do that people could learn about. They train incredibly hard, with really good intensity. The environments are ridiculous, and then I got disillusioned with it because I missed some kind of competition output. And I think the drive to get into the gym before was I used to play like 5-a-side football. I used to play 11-a-side football. I used to play squash, and then just like as you got slightly older, not even old, like 20. People start working, people have different hours. It's really hard to get everyone into like a Tuesday at 7 p.m. slot to play. And hard to commit to playing on a weekend when you're already working. So look, that was the initial drive to get into the gym. And then from there, like meeting a couple of people that powerlifted through the bodybuilder style gym, that kind of pushed me through going from like your bodybuilder split into something a bit more strength focused. And I remember talking to a guy, Tony, who I still say is the guy that got me into powerlifting. He switched me from like the single body split to push pull legs. And I did push pull legs, and I wanted to train 5 days a week. So I did a strength squat, bench, deadlift day, and like another bro day. So it was gradually building. And then it got rid of the bro day, and it was 2 powerlifting days. And before I knew it, I was just powerlifting. And I could deadlift 220, and I'd been doing it like a month, and I was the same weight as I am now. And someone mentioned that I could potentially do okay at powerlifting if I trained for powerlifting, because at this point I was just doing push pull legs, squat, bench, deadlift on another day. So I entered a competition for the next month, had no idea what powerlifting was. I knew I had to be 75 kilos. I knew I had to be at the venue at this, but I remember turning up and them saying, "Oh, which flight are you in?" And I didn't know what a flight was. I didn't know anything. So I just literally entered the month after. I hadn't squatted ever, apart from being in front of a mirror. So everything was completely new. But it was just wanting the competition elements from training. And then, just becoming disillusioned with the kind of bodybuilder split and wanting a little bit more out of training. And then that kind of pushed us into there. Coupled with, I guess, not natural, but I was fairly strong without training exclusively for strength.
Yeah. I think we've all got those like performance interests for sure, haven't we? And, you know, it's, I think that's evident in, all of our backgrounds really. And that's the rest of the team as well, is that, in that interest of and link between, training and actually wanting to improve performance and use the body in that kind of way, for want of a better phrase. Cool. Well, leading on from that into question 4, Luke, who's your favorite powerlifter and why?
My favorite power, I'd probably say 2. So I say John Hack, who is a non-IPF lifter. So he competes untested, but I love his personality. I love that he takes it incredibly serious, but he also has a real good laugh. His intensity is great. All round, he comes across as a really good guy. He's very funny, and he's an excellent lifter. So say John Hack. And then in IPF, I would say I like Brett Gibbs, 83 kilo guy. I met him, and I've met his mom. She's nice. I was training in the world's warm up area, and I was wearing a Brett Gibbs t-shirt, and his mom was watching from above. I didn't know it was his mom at the time, and she went, "Are you a Kiwi?" I was like, "Oh no, this is Brett Gibbs' t-shirt. I'm a big fan." Blah blah blah. She went, "I know Brett. That's my son." Accent got ruined. But
where is she from?
You get the idea. She's from South Africa. So like Brett Gibbs.
Who's your favourite weightlifter? Actually, Luke, I wasn't going to ask, but I know you.
Let me be to hit the feminist points. Just my favorite female powerlifter is I like Jess Buetner, and I like Amanda Lawrence as well. So those are my favorite powerlifters. Yeah. Favorite weightlifter, I was watching some weightlifting the other day. Actually, I like Lu Zhao. I really like Clarence Kennedy. I know he doesn't compete. I like following him. And I also like, I don't really keep up with it now, so I only know some of the older people, but I like watching like Klokov's videos. So I'd say those.
Cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Sonia? Who's your favourite weightlifter then?
So my favorite weightlifter is Matthew Rogers, because she is my age-ish. She's maybe a bit older, but I really admire her work. But you can just tell that when someone does it from being a child, into gymnastics, it's completely different than when you do it just for a couple of years. So that would be her. And I also like Klokov. Yeah.
He's entertaining to watch, that's for sure.
Klokov, yeah.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite powerlifter, Sonia?
I would say it's Luke Rogers, Team GB.
Oh, good answer. Good answer.
Matty Rogers and Luke Rogers, you're in good company. The fan represent.
All the Rogers.
Okay, so Sonia, if you didn't compete in weightlifting and we're going to try another sport, what sport would you play / compete in? So the question is, what sport would you play / compete in if you changed sport?
Basketball.
Basketball on them hoops.
I think this is really actually hard question. I never thought of it. Maybe I would love to try rugby, but I just can't deal with the tackle thing. So I don't know if that would suit me. I don't know. What would you say? What sport would suit me? Luke?
Sonia, there was a phase just before we closed where every other week you were naming a different sport that you were going to do. You're going to be a sprinter, you're going to be a rower, and now you can't think of one.
That's not like it. That doesn't mean because I do it. I'm just like, I think whatever I try, like I'm good at it.
Mate, I've watched, you're absolutely terrible at basketball.
So what again, you saying rugby, basketball? I think you'd be good at American football.
Okay.
You got to pick one, mate. Which one is it?
I think I would go for the rowing.
Rowing. It will change tomorrow. It will change tomorrow. What about you, Luke? If you hung up the lifters, what would you?
When I was younger, I would have said it would have been squash. It probably will again be squash at some point as I get a little bit older. I do quite enjoy it. But also, I would actually like to. I'm absolutely not built for it, but I would like to try and pursue the basketball. I'd very much be an offensive guard. I wouldn't be able to defend much, but you know what? I try my best, and that's all that you can ask.
I enjoy it. You said I'm terrible at basketball. Look, this goes public. Like I'm doing my best.
Mate, I mean, comparatively, you're very much. No, you're a good centre. You're a good centre.
That'll do.
Or forward. Okay, next question. So we're changing subject a little bit. So we'll start with you, Sonia. What made you join MSC?
So when I moved to city centre in Birmingham, I already knew about MSC, and I don't know, like I didn't really search that much. Like I literally eliminated all the CrossFit gyms around. I think there's been just one in Digbeth, which I've tried, and I just didn't feel that that's where I want to train. And I just saw MSC as the only way. Like, and I don't know if I just didn't research enough, but I just picked MSC. And I remember the day when I came in, and like, I think I spoke to Josh, and he was like trying to sell me what you guys offer. And I was like, I want this membership, and I want to sign up now, and I want to start now. Like I'm training now. Like I just knew what I want. Like I just knew that I want to do weightlifting in your gym, and then I think I got into all the metcons as well. But yeah, I don't know, like I just found MSC and I saw it as the only thing because of all the kits and the, like, you know, the facility as it is. Like I knew I can do my thing, so that's what made me pick it.
Awesome. What about you, Luke?
We obviously day one, so like you asked us if I wanted to come over to MSC. We spoke about this the other day actually, and I was very much like I 100% wanted to jump in, but obviously the nervousness of going from I'm from like a very working class background, so my parents are always pushing like, yeah, safe, be safe, choose the safe options. So when you say to your mum you're working at Bannatynes, my mum knows who Duncan Bannatyne is. She understands that the gym's got X amount of gyms compared to my mate Mark is opening up a gym round the corner. And I'm thinking of going, and it'd been like, I'm not sure if you should do that. So I absolutely wanted to go to MSC. Obviously I wanted to pursue powerlifting, which if I'd not have done, God knows what would have happened. But yeah, so I definitely knew that I wanted to pursue being a strength coach, a strength conditioning coach, a powerlifting coach, and MSC was definitely the facility to be, but the nerves and apprehension was still there. But then I remember talking to a couple of clients that were saying like, if MSC fails, which it won't, but if it did, you can get another job at a health club within seconds. You've worked in there for years. You've got this experience, blah, blah, blah. And then that was it, just went for it. And it's the best decision I've ever made. So there you go.
You backed me in the end.
I backed you from the start, but it's just my parents was very much.
Yeah, no, of course, it's
safety
understandable.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to question 7. What are the 3 best things about MSC in your opinion? Luke?
Luke goes first.
Okay. I like the community. I like the diversity and respect from member to member. So I think it's arguably the most diverse group of people I've ever met in my life. And there's just a respect from everyone there just for being in that situation. You could have a very novice woman working with a advanced man, and there's absolutely no apprehension there. And then the third thing would be the support. For example, a great example is like Attila the other day put something up that he set up a GoFundMe for one reason or another, and the amount of people it's pretty much 100% MSC people coming forward and gave their money to someone that hasn't been a member for 2 years, but they've got these fond memories of him. So I would say, yeah, those 3, definitely.
Awesome, good answer.
Okay, for me, it's the team, the boys, the people, and the variety in those people. Like, we have the powerlifters, we have people who do running, sprinting, whatever kind of sport, rugby guys. And I think that it's under the roof of MSC, we all kind of come together. And the third thing would be probably that I never felt worried or ashamed to train at MSC. Like, I know that many girls or people, like guys as well, say that like they feel embarrassed to train in the other gym, like among men. Let's say females says this a lot. I never felt this at MSC, and that's a big one for me. That like MSC gives you opportunity to do whatever you want and be just yourself. So
yeah, awesome. Love that. Fantastic. What piece of kit would you add to MSC if you could? Price irrelevant. If we had unlimited funds. Sonia? It's a hard question, this.
It's hard, yeah. I'm gonna say what first came to my mind. So it's the curved treadmill.
Okay, yeah.
I can back up this if you want. It's amazing for sprint.
Yeah, it is, to be fair. It is very good. I was just joking.
I did see a couple on sale the other day, actually. So there we go. Who knows? Luke?
I would go for I instantly thought an Elite Call combi rack, but I've changed my mind now to a I'm not sure what would be the best brand, but a hack squat. Because we spoke a little bit about like machines coming in for hypertrophy this year. Leg press, belt squat, fantastic. You get the hack squat, that's the big 3. The lower body. Oof. And that's unbeatable. Yeah, so I guess I'd say hack.
Nice, good answer. Okay, Luke, what is your favorite lift?
I'm having a bad time of it at the minute, but squat. Can't beat a squat, yeah.
Fantastic.
Mine
Sonia?
is a snatch. Mm-hmm.
Any particular reasons for either, or just feels the best?
Feels the best, and it challenges me in so many ways, and I think it just looks super cool. So.
The snatch is just like just requires such athleticism, doesn't it, and skill, like the skill, so precise.
I was like, one of my best moments is deadlifting 295, and it was a great moment, but there's nothing beats being under a bar waiting for a command to say start and trying to squat something heavy with 3 people around you ready to catch you if you fall, and just the environment that comes with that. And yeah, I love it.
Character building, isn't it? Like
100%.
Something, standing up, something that's trying to essentially crush you and kill you, like to be able to come out of that with on your heavy ones is pretty cool. Probably the only negative question we've got in here, but what annoys you most in the industry?
I probably can start.
Okay.
I don't know how to label it, but the evolving industry in terms of obviously doing good in terms of coaching and then making good money out of something what you may called coaching and it's not really coaching. So that annoys me the most, that there is not really a difference between what people do. And me as a female, like, I struggle with these girls promoting sporting brands, making money out of fitness and not really doing fitness.
No,
You're talking like influencers, etc.
Yes. Yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah, good answer.
Yeah.
For you, Luke?
For me, I would say it would be people that are uneducated that are trying to make educated conversations. For example, like there's a few people that spout off stuff. I've read a few things recently. It doesn't bother me, but people do read it that might have the reach. Like talking about it's just stuff that's outdated by about 5 years that we just know is not true anymore. But they just keeps pushing it, and that's frustrating. It doesn't affect me, but it affects people that might follow them that don't quite know as much. Which then say, I need to do all this mobility work. I need to do. Yeah, it's just not true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's I think like with the question here, what annoys you most in the industry is like you could. I think the longer you're in it, you can build some pretty thick skin, and I think it's the only way to survive in this industry. If you're a good coach and you're evolving and you're learning all the way, it can be it can be a very, very difficult industry to be in because there is a lot of bullshit. There's no regulation. Like there's no regulation as a coach. Like your nan can go and do a weekend PT course and then start charging people £60 an hour if she wants, and the man on the street doesn't.
My nan has.
Well, there you go.
She set it up in the old woman's home, and she's fucking doing it. She's making good coin.
I thought I saw on the gram actually the other day.
I think that what you said, Mark, is good label to it, that there is no regulation to it.
There's no regulation. It's like anyone can come in and do it and then start spouting off any sort of advice, and I don't know, that's maybe the one thing that annoys me the most, but you can't do anything about it. You can't change it. So it doesn't
affect me, but like I said, it affects others. And the amount of times a client will come to me and say, "Oh, did you see blah 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 said that I should be doing this?" And it's the only time that I'll ever be like, "Well, like too many cooks spoil the broth," is the first one I'll say. Then if they're still pushing, I'll say, "Who are you going to listen to? You're going to listen to me that you pay that has this qualification, blah blah blah, or you're going to listen to this person that."
You have to like focus. I mean, one of the inspirations for like building MSC was, you see so much bullshit around, like, in previous place we worked, and just being able to like have 4 walls where you can just control the standards was a big thing for me. Like that was one of the main reasons. And I think you have to, and then that worked. And then like social media has evolved, and then like you've escaped that environment before and come into a controllable environment. Sound like a control freak here, but like, controllable environment where you can control the quality of what's going on. And then social media's evolved, and it's like, whoa, there's bullshit everywhere. But like, it's you have to just stay in your lane, don't you, and just focus on your own thing. I think it's the only way to survive, and just do the best with the people that you can help. And I think I used to want to try and save the world and change, and control the world in terms of training and S&C. But I think you come to the realization that you can't do that. So just focus on the people that you can help is a big one, I think. Cool. Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time? Is the next question. Hopefully at MSC, but I'll understand if it's not.
So I would love to say that I would like to change a country and try life in a different country, but 5 years time for me is a long time. Like I'm gonna approach my 30s, boys, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I hope I'm gonna have.
It's a horrible question. It's a horrible question. I'm sorry. It's so hard to answer, isn't it? But
yeah. Well, hopefully still in the industry and doing better than now.
MSC Bratislava, we're in. Franchise.com.
For me, 5 years and 10 years is a very different question. But in 5 years, I'd like to be in a position where I'm pushing I mean, I'm already very happy with the level of coaching that I've got, blah blah blah. But maybe like have someone working underneath me as like I don't know, like an intern / as a second coach, just to have a bigger reach and probably open that up. And aside from that, probably just more of the same. But in 10 years could be very different. But 5 years, it's hard because of COVID as well. Like it's just everything's just maintained for a year. But I'd like to solidify my place as I am as like one of the most reputable coaches in Britain in powerlifting anyway, and maybe have like a team working underneath me in some respect.
Sweet.
That's a wise goal.
Wise goals.
I can do less then as well. I won't have to do anything. So, my little people.
Okay, change the subject. What are your 3 favorite movies?
I knew you were going to ask this, and
you're not prepped, are you?
I've not
what comes
prepped.
into your head? What comes into your head?
I haven't watched a movie for a while. I like Will Ferrell, so I like Anchorman. I like the other guys.
Yeah, that's cool. That's underrated.
It's so good. So other guys, Anchorman, and then if I chose, I really like gangster movies. So I quite like what would I say is my favorite? Scarface is good. Give us a sec.
Go on then.
Goodfellas. Go on, Goodfellas. Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
I knew you were going to say that.
Goodfellas would be in my top 3, definitely.
This movie is The Gentleman. Then I would say
why is that something?
So okay, apart from the actors, it's like the background of like UK and Britain, and because like I live here now, that movie gives me such a different impression, like in a really good way, like all that atmosphere of a pub, a pint, and like the accent, like I love British accent, and that's why that's my favorite movie. I can watch it all over again. Then I would say whole era of Marvel and Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah, good shout. Fantastic. I mean, you cheated a bit there with the whole of Marvel, but I'll let you off. Fantastic. Favorite place to travel? Obviously, it's a bit of a kind of, not to rub salt into the wound at the moment, but
yeah.
Favorite place you've been to?
So for me, last year I went to, I did like a month off, and I never thought I'd get a month off again. And then here you go for 2020. But I went to Dubai and then Australia, and I thought that like Melbourne or Sydney would be my favorite, and they were both fantastic. But we went to a place called Magnetic Island, which is like a very small island just off. I can't remember where it was off now, but it was unreal there. It was like so remote. There was like only one road. You had these like little motor cars that would drive there. There was like wallabies everywhere. It was unreal. We saw some koala bears out that were just out in nature, like not contained. That was definitely my favorite place. It was really, really good. It's where my brother got married. So I'd probably say Maggie Island was my best. And I've been to some good places, man. I went to New York last year. That was good, but Maggie Island, there was just something about it that it was off Townsville. Townsville's where it was off, which no one's heard of, but that was really nice. But this island was crazy.
Awesome.
For me, it's Vancouver in Canada. So I had the chance to spend there, I think, a summer, 2 months, visiting my family, and that place has like a soft spot. Like it's beautiful, and I would go back, and I would travel through all Canada. Like Canada is beautiful, clean.
Yeah, when I went to Canada, and it went to Calgary, but we went to Banff, the national parks. If you search for Lake Louise, they call it the Lake of Instagram. It's just so nice, man. It's so nice.
Slovakia is really beautiful as well, guys. Slovakia is beautiful.
Slovakia, is that a real country?
Next question, Mark.
Is that in Russia?
It's like it's £13 to get there. It can't be that good.
Next question.
£13 to get there, and then £1 million to get back. Last two questions. These I hope doesn't cause any riffs. A bit personal. Favorite MSC member?
Okay, Luke goes first.
We love all our children equally, obviously, but you know, just for fun,
Well, I'm gonna have to say Elise.
Oh, he bottled it. Absolutely bottled it.
In fact, I was like, Graham! And then Elise will kill me tonight. So I'm going to name three. I'm going to say Elise White, Nazreen Booker, who is the best client anyone could ask for, and Graham Levens. Those are my favourite three.
Fantastic.
Okay. My favourite is Doug Lawrence and Ben and Jody Cook. But obviously,
yeah, nice.
I love you all, but if you ask me, I'm always happy to see anyone, but these people always have a good chat, and this chat always gives me something for the day as well.
Like, I'm surprised. I thought you was going to say Jordan. I thought you was going to say someone else.
No, I'm happy with
next question. Least favorite? No, we're not going to do that. The last question is. God, this is going to be awkward. Favorite MSC member of staff?
Sonia, go on. It's your turn.
Go on, Sonia.
It's your turn. So you mean who's my favorite colleague, basically?
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite. I love you all. So
okay. Who?
You're pushing for it.
Okay.
So, I can't really say you because you're not really my colleague, are you? And then I can't create this between Luke and Mac. I can't.
That's fair.
Luke,
my favorite's Alex from Urban Training. Alex and Liam from Urban Training.
Good answer.
The surprise with that. There you go.
That's a horrible question, actually. Let's You can edit that out. So you can edit that out.
The team wouldn't be complete without.
Exactly. We all have our strengths, don't we?
Yes.
Okie dokie. That is
okay,
all
Mike.
the questions.
Who's your favorite member of staff?
Well, you can't pick between your children, can you? all parents will tell you they love you all equally.
You can't choose between your kids,
which is a lie, but
you can't choose between your kids. But if you ever look at what they get for their birthdays, you can tell which one I prefer more. And in the 6 years I've known Mark, I've not had fuck all, and you got a card and a cake. So there's your answer, Sonia. All right, you wanted the answer, you've got it.
Oh, there you go. Oh dear, nice awkward note to finish on. That's the last question, guys. So thank you for partaking in that fun little Q&A. Hopefully our listeners have now got a better insight and a better idea of our coaches and what they're all about. We'll have to do another one with Ben, Max, and Josh as well at some point. Anything to add there, guys, or we can round it off?
That was excellent. Next one will be just me questioning you, Mark, and we're gonna pick all the nasty questions.
That'd be brutal, wouldn't it? That'd be brutal. I think the questions were okay, weren't they? They weren't too bad.
It's good fun.
Good stuff. Okay, guys, thank you very much. We'll be leaving that there. Check out the rest of our podcasts as well on our YouTube channel, MSC Performance Birmingham. I believe Sonia's got a blog coming out soon as well on sprinting, which is going to be a really good read. And we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Thanks, Mark.
Bye. Thank you.